Hi there, my name is FixFox and welcome to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition and today we are finishing off the trilogy of Wizard's Land. We've completed 1, 2, and now today we are going to be doing 3. Following the adventures of Solomir the Wizard, we had to dispatch of our master. We were the apprentice and he was the master. And then we had to defeat his brother who was very angry that we overthrew his brother. And now what are we to expect here for this final scenario? I'm not quite sure, but I'm very excited to find out. So let's dive right on in to Wizard's Land 3. Your kingdom has been placed in a magical stasis and you must find out who's behind it. Dedicated to Princess Diana. That really dates this map and the creation of this map, by the way. Of course, Princess of Wales, that was quite some time ago. This is going to be a small map. This is going to be a Price of Loyalty expansion map, and the map difficulty designation is expert. So we are going to be the blue wizard. We are up against apparently a green sorceress. Let's put our impossible difficulty right front and center, and let's dive right in. You gather your archmages and hold a council. Unfortunately, you cannot send scouts ahead because you have too few troops. However, one of the archmages has a wizard's eye spell that can spy around. But as the magical disturbances are strong in this area, the eye cannot go too far or for too long. So we start off here, Solomir the Wizard, and this is the third different portrait that we have had for our wizard friend. He is appropriately leveled up per our previous engagements with the enemy. As a level 25 wizard, he has expert wisdom, expert mysticism, expert estates, the advanced leadership, basic pathfinding, basic archery, and basic ballistics. This is an excellent roll, by the way. I don't know if this is the secondary skills were just naturally rolled. You are level 25 and then you get a corresponding amount of secondary skills, or if this is what you're going to get every single time that you re-roll this map. But I am very happy with these secondary skills. I think that this is fantastic. I'm especially happy to see the expert estates. That has been terrific on these maps thus far. And then of course, when we have the leadership, we can do some very terrific things with that. Not to mention archery as a wizard. Very, very wonderful when you have 3 shooters native to your faction. We do start off with the Staff of Wizardry. That will boost our spell power by 5. And so if we right click on the attack skill and the defense and the spell power and the knowledge, it will actually tell us what our modifiers are. It looks like we'd have 7 attack skill, 7 defense, and this 13 spell power is in part because of the current modifier plus 5 from that Staff of Wizardry, and then 7 knowledge to boot. So a very powerful, very wonderful hero with 5 Archmagi. What do we have here in our little town here? First off, can this be upgraded to a castle? It cannot. We do start off with, it looks like the halflings, boars, the steel golems, rocks, and that appears to be it. No magi, no giants, no titans. But we do also have a thieves guild here. It looks like it is us versus, I want to say Sister Eliza, because that is the portrait that we find in the base level of Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and the Secession Wars, but I'm guessing that that is not her name. But it is us as a blue wizards against those green sorceresses. Looks like we have the only town that is available, and then the green sorceresses, they either have 1 castle or they have multiple. Difficult to say, but we do know that they have more than 1 hero. So for the first time in this trilogy, we are going to have to do more than just contend with 1 enemy hiding in a castle. Otherwise, we do have the tavern here. The ultimate artifact is really the ultimate cloak of protection. That's fantastic. I'm very happy to hear about that, because if I'm looking at this, having attack or defense, having the ultimate sword or the ultimate cloak of protection, both of those I favor very, very highly. The Book of Knowledge is probably my last choice as far as ultimate artifacts go, and then the spell power is not too bad. But getting some additional 12 defense would be tremendous in helping us overcome any of our enemies, especially knowing that we are wizards and we probably have some good spells to boot. What spells do we have? We've got some good spells to boot. This is interesting. This playthrough, Wizard's Land 1 and 2 and now 3, we have been at a loss in the sense that we have not had many wonderful offensive spells, and that trend continues. We are Wizard's Land, and somehow the only offensive spell that we have is this Fireball. I'm very happy for it. This is a much better alternative than having no Magic Arrow, no Cold Ray, no Lightning Bolt, and no wonderful spell here in our 3rd level. But I am noting that we are a little bit lacking single target high damage spells. We do have the Blind, the Disrupting Ray, Steel Skin. It's a good mage guild, and since we do have the Fireball, we will make this work. But otherwise, I am going to potentially feel the loss of some of those other spells. We'd love to purchase these creatures. We cannot. We have no resources whatsoever because we started off on impossible difficulty, but I do see a gold mine right over here. So we are immediately going to get this gold mine for 1,000 gold per day. This is very interesting. I'm not sure why there are some orcs just hiding in the tree line here. Surely, unless there's like a little event that will trigger if we step here or here, I don't see any reason to really fight these orcs. And even though I would like to go left into this corner, I see this halfling hole and I say to myself, we should probably go and pick up halflings. Then again, because I have no gold and I'm going to want to come back to Northwatch, unless there's a road or a way to get around what looks to be a lake here, I might as well go as far into the corner as I possibly can just to see what's up. Look, those orcs have trapped a baby unicorn and are going to kill it. That sounds like a job for somebody, but not somebody with only 5 Archmagi. We will probably come back. The Wizard's Eye has seen a mage's hut to the west. Apparently its inhabitant is somewhere nearby. A mage's hut. Okay, there's this magic well that's very out of the way. I'm going to kind of go in that direction. You meet a mage in the forest. He agrees to pledge loyalty to you and gives you a token of his pledge. He also invites you to visit him in his hut. That's +2 spell power. There is our Hut of the Magi. So you see the mage in front of his hut. He smiles. Ah, welcome, my friends. I have heard of the dramatic event in your country, and maybe I can provide some insight into the problem. Just step into my hut. I will show you something. What a nice fellow. We enter his rickety hut and talk to the magician who lives there. He tells us of places near and far which may aid us in our journeys. Interesting. Okay, so we do see, well, hold on now. We see a Sister Eliza portrait, and then we also see this individual here. I'm not sure what my win-loss condition is. Let's go back to here. Your kingdom has been placed into magical stasis. You must find out who's behind it. Defeat the hero Iciria. I'm going to assume it's Iciria and not Iciria. So we must defeat this hero. This is our ultimate objective. We do see a Druid Queen just kind of hiding here in the shadows, right there in the tree line. She's not moving. Maybe she will start to move. I'm not too sure. But seeing that there is an obelisk right here, that makes me wonder if both of these heroes are stationary or not, if we can get the obelisk and then go back and pick up the ultimate artifact wherever it may be. But that is our heading. We know that we need to go north in some capacity. It's day 3. The Wizard's Eye spied an old-looking tree standing in a grove to the east. So there's things over here, and I'm starting to see gold in this general area. I think I will be able to get this way. And I do wonder if I should go back for the halfling hole or not. I think I might as well explore just a little bit and just see what I can find. Oh. And that tells me everything I need to know. There's no way I'm defeating these hordes of orcs by myself. We will come back at another point in time. The Eye has spotted a large tribe of orcs in the snowy mountains to the northwest. Judging from their banners, it is the Ice Claw tribe. So 3 groups of orcs on the map at least, if not more. Let's purchase all of these troops. Looks like we are able to, especially with our gold mine. That'll keep us nice and full of gold. As we go and grab some more halflings, we go up to 43 halflings. Free gems, free gold. There's a second obelisk that we have seen so far. Today, the Wizard's Eye has seen a large horde of fire elementals jealously guarding some items. They are in the forest to the northeast. So forest to the northeast, fire elementals guarding something. Aha, there's an obelisk for us. And then something here, it looks like a blue tent is very well hidden. Look how well that blue tent is hidden. That's amazing. And it looks like there's going to be less than 6, I would reckon. Less than 6 obelisks once again on this map. I think that that's a good number. I do think that that's a good number. Here's something the wizard's eye didn't notice. What a smart way of utilizing the ambiance that you are creating in this map. You enter the tent and see an old woman gazing into a magic gem. She looks up and says, "In my travels, I have learned much in the way of arcane magic. A great oracle taught me his skill. I have the answer you seek." Wonderful. And then this is a question. Oh, we are level 25. We are absolutely going to pick up this Tree of Knowledge. Sometimes if we are level 1 to about level 10, I sometimes question whether or not it's a good idea to pick up these Trees of Knowledge. But because we have, oh gosh, 32,000 experience to go before our next level, I think it's a good time to get this Tree of Knowledge right now. And for a mere 2,000 gold, yeah, I guess that my math is terrible. It's going to be 38,000 experience necessary. We are going to take it, and between Eagle Eye and Luck, I think that there's no question what we will take. Luck is probably the best last skill we could have possibly taken. I am all for it. I do see this Horde of Magi guarding. I think that that is a +4 to knowledge. We will see what it's going to take to get back there. But otherwise, I feel satisfied that it's time to pick up our troops and then go through those orcs to the west. The Wizard's Eye spell expired today, and no new one can be created because of magical barriers. However, the Eye did see a large coven of cold-worshipping druids who lived in the western parts of the snowy wastes. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a lot that we need to deal with, and it looks like we must get into the snowy wasteland if we're going to do much of anything. Especially if we're going to look at getting our ultimate artifact. As you can tell from this map, it looks like there's snow, there's an ore mine, and a lot of ocean, maybe a little spit of land. Maybe once again in the corner there's going to be some island that we can traverse. We can traverse the sea and we can go to that one little island. Lots of orcs, I think we can beat them. I don't think it's a great idea necessarily because we are probably going to take some troop losses. Then again, we do have some nice spells. I don't know what we're going to get as a reward for stopping the death of that little baby unicorn. I'm guessing it'll probably be like a golden horseshoe. That would just make sense to me thematically. One halfling, I don't think it's necessary to even fight that fight. You rescue the unicorn from the orcs. Grateful it gives you its golden shoe. +1 luck for that artifact. Terrific. And this is the point where everybody says, "Fix Fox, how did you know?" And I'll say, I didn't. I just guessed in the best way possible. Horde of Orcs. You see the Ice Claw tribe ahead. They don't look friendly. Oh dear. But it is a horde. That is much more than these lots that were here. Horde is anywhere between 50 to 100. It's a glorious victory. Let's see if we can do just a little bit better. If I had a haste here, that could be useful. The blind is going to do some good for us here as well, making sure that the enemies don't get to go. Very nice to note that with the turn order up here, which you can always turn on and off in your combat options here, turn order and damage info, you can turn those off, you can turn those on. I prefer to keep both of those on. We see that all these orcs will go last, and these orc chiefs will go before my halflings. I think it's probably not a bad idea just to blind these orc chiefs. The alternative would be to try and get some damage, 160 hit points worth of damage down onto these stacks of creatures. Wait a second. Orcs have 10 hit points. There's 2 stacks of 16. This fireball does 160 damage to 2 creatures. I thought that the blind would be the best spell. I think I've changed my mind because Fireball is literally going to destroy 2 stacks of creatures for me. I can mitigate the damage from 1 stack of creatures, or I can just eliminate 2 whole stacks of creatures. I think that that is the absolute best decision I could possibly make. Knowing that the rocks are going to go, I'm going to slot them in between both of these orc chieftains and these orcs, and I will also start working on this bottom stack of orcs. Worth noting, and this is a follow-up to the previous video we had, I posed the question. I said, why is it that when I fight neutral creatures, sometimes do I come across neutral creatures that have normal morale, no chance of getting bad morale, and no chance of getting good morale? And why do I come across neutral creatures that sometimes have good morale. In this instance, without right-clicking on these orcs, I know that they are going to have good morale. There it is, good morale. Why do these creatures have good morale? The way that you get +1 morale is by having troops all of the same alignment. If I had 5 stacks of regular orcs or 5 stacks of orc chiefs, that would be one type of creature on the battlefield. As it stands, orc chiefs are different from orcs, and therefore there are 2 types of troops on the battlefield, and that meets the requirements, that meets the threshold for having good morale with the +1 morale modifier. So I'm thrilled for it. That is wonderful. Real quick, let me just check to make sure who had mentioned that for us, because it was in the comment section. It was Chris Diplock 3267 who originally kind of posed that to me, and then I just double checked that. Chris, thank you so very, very much for the insights. You were 100% correct. That is exactly what it is. So I just had to throw that in there because I appreciate very, very much when people say, hey, FixFox, this is what's going on. So thank you so very, very much. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate that I get to be a wiser, smarter, better Heroes of Might and Magic 2 player. So thank you. We are going to let the rocks take the damage from these 16 orcs. We're just going to eliminate all the damage from these orcs. We still have 15 hit points here. I think we're going to be just fine, especially if we're getting that good luck coming through. The only thing I lament is that these boars are now on the wrong side of that terrain. But, oh, should I cast? I'll cast 1 stone skin just to make sure that we don't lose any rocks. How about that? That'll be just fine. Oh yeah, no problems. No problems. Okay, so we go through those rocks without any losses, no problems. We may come back to this watchtower at a later date, but for now, I think that we just continue on our way. The troops we have are sufficient. If we lose a whole stack of creatures somewhere, we may come back. In that same vein of thought, I'm going to just come back to this throng of orcs later if it feels necessary. But for now, I think I'm just going to continue to explore, maybe save my troops, maybe prevent some losses that I just can't absorb. It seems in some of the other scenarios here in Wizards Land that it was pretty useful to have troops ready for the appropriate fights. And if I had exhausted my strength on places that weren't quite useful, then ultimately it's going to hurt me more than help me to go through all these creatures. These are the fire elementals that have been talked about. This is the ever hot lava rock, and that's actually very interesting. It will increase the damage of your fire spells by 50%, going from 160 damage up to 240. That could be a really big deal, but for a horde of fire elementals, that's going to be pretty tough to deal with. I do see that there's this artifact here, and then there's an artifact right below it. What that artifact is below it, I don't know. And this is something that I would love to see implemented with FHeroes2. If I know that the artifact is there, but I can't visually see it, it would be nice if I could right click on it and it would say artifact and then in parentheses say what the artifact is. I don't think that that removes any skill or challenge from the game personally. That just helps me as a player make the appropriate decision. How important is it to beat this horde of fire elementals? I know what this artifact does. I probably know what this artifact does if I can get it. I just need to know what the artifact is so I can make the appropriate decision. That feels like that's within the scope of the FHeroes2 project. Maybe you disagree. But that's something I would personally like to see. Aha, this is very interesting. So aside from there being water here, it looks like, again, this is up to, well, we see a little castle here. This is probably the castle that we know up here. This is probably just the edge of that. It looks like there's also going to be a town somewhere over here, and then water over here with a little spit of land just in the upper left. So there's much that we are getting to see here just through obelisks, and that is pretty darn useful. Also interesting to note, here are some stone liths. How we get there, I don't know. It looks like you can't land a boat right here, perhaps. Then again, maybe that will be a thing. So far it has been. This map designer has enjoyed using that mechanic, and I am all for it. A horde of dwarves. I did not even have to work too hard to make that fight happen. I just hit accept, which is probably the best thing I could do. This is interesting, I suppose. Horde of Magi, I don't feel too keen on fighting them for 2 reasons. Number one, I think I'm going to incur some heavy losses. Number 2, I don't know what I would do with an additional 4 knowledge. That's an additional 40 spell points, but I think that with 8 knowledge, I have sufficient knowledge. I don't think I'm going to be running out of spell points anytime soon, is kind of what I'm saying. And so we are probably going to have to come back to them at a later date, probably come back to these fire elementals at a later date. But for now, let's just push on and head right into the snow. We do have our basic pathfinding that will help on the snow. We are still going to have some penalty moving forward. There are all these troops in Night Watch that we are not going to go back and get. Let's just continue on and see what troops we may need in the future. So, this Iciria is responsible for the magical stasis of your land. But why is she doing this? No doubt, the answer will be found in the frozen wastes beyond this gateway. A magical barrier stands tall before you, blocking your way. Runes on the arch read, "Speak the key and you may pass." As you speak the magic word, the glowing barrier dissolves into nothingness. Okay, as the gateway vanishes, you see an old man hobbling towards you. "Praise to the gods," he exclaims. "You have freed me. I have been trapped behind this bloody door for years, barely managing to survive. Here, take my compass. It has often helped me find my way in these wastes." Then the man starts walking southwards. A very excellent pickup, additional movement on land and sea. So any extra bit of movement points is going to be wonderful. I do see it looks like another gold mine here. A throng of battle dwarves. I still think that we can defeat them. Looks like the tops of the dwarves' heads are there as well. And the Druid Queen still stands stock still. I don't quite know what I should do here. For this reason, if I go through this green barrier, I'm assuming that this hero is set to patrol or just to stay in that one little space. I don't think that by going through this green barrier, I'm going to cause myself too many problems. But how many troops are there? How quickly should I try and fight Ice Castle? I think I should wait. I should try and find an oracle, or I should get a second town that also has a Thieves Guild so I can get a general range on how many troops there are here in this castle. We do know that there are lots of phoenixes. That's a lot of phoenixes. Lots can be a lot. That's 20 plus. So we're going to be very cautious, and we're probably not going to charge right there, and I'm probably going to ignore the Druid Queen for at least one moment. Let's take one step forward. I see the zombies with some resources, but what need do I have for resources? Interesting, I thought maybe we would... What? Very interesting. I thought to myself, oh, this is blocked off. We need to go through these stone lifts to get here. Nope, you can walk right through it. But a throng of unicorns. Wow, a throng of unicorns. That does not sound like a good time to me at all. We're going to avoid them for now. We will do other stuff for now. Dwarves, no problem. Isiria's dwarven mercenaries stand guard here. They are nothing but experience, and quite frankly, I don't really need experience. A horde of dwarves, I can still beat them as well. Ah, but I do see the town of Snowstorm. How many phoenixes, how many dwarves, how many elves? I cannot say, but what I do see is that it is day 3, and so I have a couple of days to figure that out. I have a couple of days to pick up some of these, maybe these mercenary camps and this stealth shield, and then we can come back and maybe we can take this town. We do know that there is another town over here. Does it matter if I go left or right? I don't know. And that's a little bit concerning. If I'm not meant to take this town, if it's a better fight to actually take this town over here, this could be the end of this scenario for us if we just fail to appropriately identify where we ought to go and what we ought to do. So I will do my best to be wise, but also be aggressive. I think that that's something that I notice when I do some of these playthroughs. Occasionally, I am not nearly as aggressive as I ought to be. I am quite cautious, and that's what led to me having, I don't want to say how many, but a whole stack of red dragons fighting a smaller stack of titans. We saw that in a previous playthrough here in the Wizard's Land scenarios, and it doesn't really bother me to be very thorough and to make sure that I'm doing everything in the best possible way. But if we can beat a battle sooner, there is some amount of bragging rights by saying that we were able to complete a scenario quicker than other people perhaps have. Do I really care about competing on these? Not necessarily, but I do always love to hear from people that say, hey, FixFox, I ended up doing this map in this many days. I did it quicker than you. I did it different than you. And I love to hear your take on these scenarios, especially if you're looking to play and give me your insights onto what can make this map even better, to do it even quicker. This artifact, the stone statue of a warrior, holds a silver shield. As you remove the shield, the statue crumbles into dust. That is going to be +2 defense. And we are back to this obelisk. So, this is our third obelisk. Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much mirrored, doesn't it? There's a town here, there's a town here. There's a gold mine here, there's this gold mine here on my side. It looks like these are almost perfectly mirrored. And because of that, I'm going to guess, without walking over here and maybe giving another week's worth of creatures time to grow. Oh, it doesn't matter. I was thinking to myself, well, if I attack now, then I'm for sure not going to have to deal with another week's worth of creatures. But that's not the case for this reason. This is a wizard town, and these are sorceress troops in the town. And so, there's no ability for the town to purchase some of those defenders that I might want to keep. The number of units in this town is static, so I'm not too worried about that. This says we're going to lose a lot of troops, and this is actually a lot of a lot of dwarves. But I think that with some spells we can do even better. Note that with a 25% chance to resist these spells, this is not a gimme, but this is, well, each dwarf is 20 hit points, so this is 600 hit points of dwarves, 6, give or take. Yeah, this is a lot of dwarves, and so I'm going to continue to cast the blinds. If they resist the blind, that's okay. I've got a little bit of time before all these dwarves get down the battlefield. Let's do the best we can and hope for the best. Perfect. Perfect. Even getting one of those is very nice. And the reason I focused on this dwarf instead of this dwarf is because of the terrain that's right here. This dwarf is going to have to go kind of out of his way to get into these halflings. I think that we will, in fact, focus on this bottom stack of dwarves. Just for that reason, though, they are going to be the closest ones to these halflings. It seemeth me good to try and eliminate them. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So the enemy is going to focus on these halflings. That is excellent information, and I am all for it. Okay. Worth noting that these dwarves are now going to be tripping over themselves a little bit because these dwarves moved up and they're going to go last. So we don't want to kill them just yet, but we're going to let them kind of hang out and just wait for a second. No chance of good morale with their normal morale, so we are just going to let them sit. 6 to 17. We might as well try and kill one stack, I think. I think so. Let's try and kill one whole stack as much as possible. We got nowhere near that. And now this is a question. This is the question. Almost guaranteed at least one stack, and maybe all 4 of these dwarves will resist the spell. Correct? Correct. A blind will last longer, but I may never get an opportunity to kill 8, 8, 8, and 8 dwarves. This could be 24 dwarves I eliminate right now. Oh, I think that the risk reward is so great with this fireball. I simply must do this. Even though this is not the strategy I had in mind, I think this is a great time to be flexible. If the enemy is going to put this out on a silver platter, again, knowing that there's that 25% chance, I think that we must give this a shot. Let's see how many dwarves resist the spell. Out of 4, none of them resisted the spell. That's 32 dwarves go down with 1 spell. That was amazing. Chalk that up on my list of highlights. That's amazing. And I know. You have a 75% chance that everything goes well per stack of dwarf. I mean, it's more likely than not that everything goes well. And yet I feel like I'm just very, very well aware. Maybe I have nightmares, flashbacks to a time where a whole stack of dwarves absolutely ruined my plans. Oh my goodness. Are we going to do it again? I think we're going to do it again. In fact, I know we're going to do it again. Let's see what the likelihood is of this happening one more time. Let's kill, let's see, 22, 22. I think that this stack is probably going to be the easiest to take down. I could kill all 16, that'd be bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm guessing I'm not going to kill all 16. I don't. Wow, the halflings have actually been doing a little bit worse than usual. Let's fireball one more time. Let's see how lucky we get. Aha! So they all took damage except for one, and that's okay. So let's actually attack the biggest stack. We are going to let the boars get into the fight here. I don't want them to take out this 9. I want to see if I can kill 2 to 4 here. I kill 3, that's good. Oh, and that's great. Rocks are one of my favorite units because they have 7 attack, 7 defense, so they are equally good on attack and defense. Just a tremendous unit all around. I have no problem with them taking a hit and having them fly into the teeth of the enemy's defense. So, a tremendous unit. And from here, obviously the battle is won. I know that we still have 30 dwarves up here to deal with, but I don't think that this is going to be a problem. The way that those dwarves lined up for us prevented any losses whatsoever, and I am thrilled with the way that that fight went. That was tremendous. Wonderful to have that fireball spell. Who needs a high damage single target spell when you have a fireball? Come on. Okay, day 5. I'm wondering. +1 attack skill. Sulfur, wood, gems, all kind of hidden in the tree line here. I'm gonna hit V for view world just so I can see if there's anything hiding elsewise. We are aware of these 3 artifacts. Aha! I missed these gems right here. They were also hidden in the tree line, but you can see that they are there. Oops. Yes. So we've missed... Oh, and over here! And there's some gems right here. Interesting. This map has many secrets. I'm thinking that because there's no troops accruing right here, I might as well go to the other side of the map and see what else I can find over here. Even if it's a well and I can replenish my spell points, even if it's some more mercenary camps, +1 attack, +1 defense, that will actually help me fight those fights much better. The only thing that can really hurt me at this point is, I believe, if I find that it is Month of the Plague. Ooh! Now this is interesting. This town is probably going to be the one we should fight. This town of Snowstorm versus the town of Iceflow. These defenders are recruiting. These are wizard troops in a wizard town. They are going to be able to purchase a small amount of troops. And whatever reinforcements I can get from Snowstorm will be the most helpful. I'm a little bit sad because we do have some great troops back at home, but this feels like it might be a little bit too far out of our way. I don't quite know what to do with that. Let me just see. A throng. I don't think I need that gold mine right now. And I don't know what's in the darkness here. I'm going to explore. It's going to take me some time, but I will explore. You enter the lands of the Ice Druids. More likely than not, they are allied with Iciria. Understandable. Have a nice day. +1 spell power, and this is good. I will fight a horde. I don't want to fight a throng of druids, but I will fight a horde of greater druids. Well, should I? Again, I'm going to take some losses, but it's for +2 to spell power and some other goodies. I think I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to explore up here, and I don't feel like I'm on the clock. I don't feel like I must act right now. I think I can be a little bit cautious. I think I can come back with many more troops here from Northwatch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here. I'm going to pick up all these troops I have. And when I come back, I will go and I will take the town of Iceflow on the eastern front. I will resupply there, and I will take those troops and roll that into a victory on the other front. That is my plan. And I think it's actually going to be a reasonable plan. I know that this is going to take a little bit of extra time, 140 up to 170 halflings, but with these troops, I feel much more confident about fighting these fights. I do. So, let's go back up this way. We will get there before the beginning of the new week. Do I regret not getting these +1s to the witch doctor's huts? Not necessarily. We're going to take out the fire elementals. With 170 halflings, I think we can put down a ton of damage on these gentlemen, and then we maybe get this wonderful artifact. The knowledge, again, probably not that useful, but I think we can take out this throng of fire elementals. They are tough. They are 5 speed. They are 5 speed creatures. And the fireball is not going to be very useful because they take reduced damage from fire spells. Steel skin, though. Blind is not going to be effective at all. You know what? I know that I was walking this way and I came back. I think that if Snowstorm has some better spells, say it has even a level 2 mage guild with some spells, that can help me fight this fight much better. I think that we do that. I think that we take this town as originally discussed, and then we'll come back with additional troops. We will come back with some additional spells, and that will make these fights even easier. The town of Snowstorm has been taken over by Iciria's creatures. Maybe the inhabitants will join your cause if you rescue them. I think I ought to. So there's no guarantees that this fight is going to go well, but we do have, well, we've got 10 attack, 11 defense, 17 spell power, 8 knowledge. We've got plenty of spell points. We've got some good spells. I say that we fight this fight and hope for the very best. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if I'm right, I'll feel good. Glorious victory. Once again, Fix Fox is overthinking it, and as I've said before, I think that when I overthink things, things actually turn out much better for me because of it. Blinded Rocks. Arc Magi, Greater Druids, Grand Elves, Spores. I do have the Dispel. I do have a little bit of a damaging spell, but it's not going to be enough to necessarily destroy all of these Greater Druids at 25 hit points. Perhaps anti-magic would be the best thing here to keep these rocks going. And if I anti-magic, then they will get their turn back this turn. As would a Cure. A Cure would also do the same thing. I can potentially kill this Phoenix. Oh, my low end of damage is 84. I will definitely kill this Phoenix when I attack them with my Arc Magi. The Druids are going to get to go. The Grand Elves are going to get to go. I am going to lose a lot of Halflings here. I don't think I can help that, but I think that with the anti-magic, I'm going to be doing even better in the long term on this fight. I could blind. I could remove a lot of damage. Since the Druids are 6 speed, since the Elves are 6 speed, and they are for sure going to get to go, maybe I cast the blind knowing that this spell has already been cast on my rocks, and that will mitigate the damage here. Maybe that is the best thing I can do. 12 defense, 5 attack, so all these troops are going to be doing reduced damage even to my halflings. I think that I'm going to blind. I'm going to blind the 15 Greater Druids. I'm going to wait on these rocks. I'm going to kill the Phoenix right now. I do. And then the boars are free to kind of charge down this battlefield. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go all the way, the dwarves will reach. 1, 2, 3, 4. The dwarves can stop these boars from coming through if I go this way, though, just because of the terrain. So I think we must go up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll go to right here. Yes, I'll go to right here so that the dwarves do not get the shot. Unicorns, yes. Dwarves, no. But I'm just fine for that. Okay. And then with no 7-speed creature, 6 speed, I must kill as many of these elves as possible because they're going to get to go next turn anyway. I think that's what I would have done anyway. Because there's no more 6-speed creatures, I have the floor, as it were. I will anti-magic my rocks now, and let's just get some damage off on these creatures, hopefully using my ranged creatures to attack the dwarves from afar. Oof. 4 more boars go down. Okay, and from here, because of the blind, I think I can just attack, and I should be able to destroy this stack without any further ado. So, yeah, blind and the fireball, good use cases back and forth. I think that if I was not able to kill that Phoenix, maybe things would have changed out for me. And actually, if the speed for the Druids and the Grand Elves were not both 6 speed, I may have thought of things in a different way. But we take our prize, which is the town of Snowstorm. Let's walk right in. Oh my goodness. This is a big deal. Obviously. Resurrect True, Lightning Bolt, Teleport, Town Gate, Meteor Shower, Berserker, Mirror Image. Whereas our first town had an okay Mage Guild, this town has a fantastic Mage Guild. This is stupendous. Could not have asked for better. And so, with 6 Titans, we are going to be able to roll a lot of these fights. I do wonder where exactly I should put my strength in my army. I think it's time for the Boars to come out and the Titans to go in. And then I think I focus on the upper tiered creatures, then the flying creatures. I will keep the halflings because 179 halflings with my archery is actually pretty good. Pretty good. And then I will take the steel golems. I've mentioned in previous videos that when it comes down to the Boars, Boars are a really good unit, but early game, their job is to get down the battlefield. Late game, their job comes down to protecting shooters, and steel golems just do a better job of that, albeit that they are very slow. But since you already have the halflings anyway, everybody's slow. Let's check our Thieves Guild real quick. 5, 7, 13, 27. I would much rather that this enemy hero has 27 knowledge than 27 power. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I don't think that with the amount of troops that I'm going to eventually throw at them, that they are going to have time to cast 270 spell points worth of spells. I just don't. We do have another Thieves Guild here, by the way. Throng, Horde, Throng. We made the right decision by even if we could have gone this way, good decision not trying to rush this castle down. Not a good idea at all. Not wise. Okay, we've cleared out this side of the map. I don't think I really care about the Horde of Magi. I don't care about that artifact nearly so much, but I do want to get these artifacts here. And now that I have some additional spells, it should be no problem. No problem whatsoever. We will take this town of Iceflow very soon, probably after we get these standing stones. But after that, we will be in the driver's seat. 1 and 23, that would have been incredible losses if we had immediately fought this fight without any additional backup. But now we are doing just fine. We do have the Resurrect True. That's going to be very useful. And in fact, that's probably the best argument for getting a scroll of knowledge from those Magi. I think so. I think that really is a good deal there. 200% damage from cold spells. We don't have a cold spell. We do have Lightning Bolt. I don't know. I think I'm better off using Resurrect True, trying to make one of these units take damage, and then just resurrecting them. Probably the rocks. I'm going to probably have the rocks fly down the battlefield, have them take a lot of attention, and then I'll Resurrect True them. That's what I'll do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If my Titans are getting good morale, we're feeling great. Might as well try and kill one stack. And they are focusing right on these halflings. These halflings are their favorite type of snack. I will probably move the Archmagi up when it's their turn. Again, sticking with my strategy of letting the rocks take all the damage. And I will move the Steel Golems down so they can potentially do something. And then let's focus on this free stack of Fire Elementals there. No spells at this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could just kill you. Let's just kill. Let's just mitigate damage in that way. There's one retaliation. And then, let's see, I could kill one whole stack, but that would waste the damage from up to 15. Let's try and kill 15 Fire Elementals. We do not. But I will cast my first Resurrect True. I don't think that spell points are going to be too big of a concern here. And even if I lose one Steel Golem, I will lose one Steel Golem with my compliments, knowing that they did a great job, and I'm very grateful for the job that they did. Looks like it was not really in question. When you have this much attack and this much defense, these fights go a lot better than sometimes even I would expect. And I'm used to kind of weighing it out and saying, well, where's the damage going to be? But in those big of stacks of numbers, I lose track of exactly what I should be expecting. I just kind of, I guess this is a worthy conversation point in just 1 second. Your wanderings bring you into contact with a tribe of ape-like beings using a magical lava rock that never cools to light their fires. You take pity on them and teach them to make fire with sticks. Believing you to be a god, the apes give you their rock. So plus 50% damage to our fire spells. That's excellent. And then what is this artifact? It is a spell scroll. You find an elaborate container which houses an old vellum scroll. The runes on the container are very old, and the artistry with which it was put together is stunning. As you pull the scroll out, you feel imbued with magical power. This spell scroll gives us access to Fire Blast. Oh, that's very nice, actually. So because you have the lava rock and you now have the Fire Blast spell, that makes a lot of sense. And I like that. Thematically, that's a wonderful pairing, and I love every bit of it. We are going to go fight these magi, by the way. But I was starting to speak about how I approach Heroes of Might and Magic. And here's the truth, is that I worry that people watch me play and they think, oh, he's making all these calculations. Every second he's doing this, he's doing that, and it's wonderful, it's fantastic, and it's really not the case. Pretty much everything I do, I'm doing in a very general sort of way. I feel my way through the game more than I make exact, precise calculations. And I hope that that doesn't ruin the illusion for anyone else. I do. I don't want people to be sad that they're like, oh, I thought he was some kind of wizard. I'm really not. But I feel like I have enough game knowledge, enough game sense that I just kind of generally know about where things are going to land. And then I'm very surprised when things don't quite go the way I thought that they would. And that's just fine for me. I'm okay with those times where it's not quite right, but it's close enough to get the job done. Maybe, I mean, you'll see me do things to try and get a better general snapshot. For example, you'll see me go, 22 attack skill, 19 defense, 11 attack, 7 defense, and I'll be looking at the general percentages for the damage. I can calculate out the damage, but it takes too long, first of all, and second of all, it doesn't really have that big of an effect size. It doesn't matter as much, I think. I definitely don't think that everybody wants me to pull out a calculator and just watch me do math the entire game. And also, where's the fun in that? Someone on Reddit had asked, how do I get better at the game? And one of the worst bits of advice anyone could give anyone in that situation, I think, would be, here, learn what every single thing does and know everything stats-wise, tactics-wise, and learn the basics of the game. If you think you can get better at the game by simply learning the mechanics, just by sitting down and studying, then I think you're missing the point of playing a game. It's a game, you know? And it's nice to learn the knowledge over time, and I'm appreciative of the people that watch me play and they say, oh, I'm a better player because of it. That is absolutely one of the most humbling things I can think of. And I'm grateful for the folks that have mentioned that, hey, I noticed that I'm playing better because I get to watch you play a little bit. But I don't think it's necessary to know exactly what everything does and to calculate every little bit of everything. And I think that completely eliminates the joy of playing Heroes of Might and Magic. Heroes of Might and Magic is a wonderful game. And I don't want you to lose the magic by getting caught up in the numbers. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for letting me go on that little tangent. Visiting a local wise man, you explain the intent of your journey. He reaches into a sack and withdraws a yellowed scroll and hands it to you. So +3 knowledge. I wasn't sure if that was +3 or +4. I get those scrolls confused all the time. With plenty of spell points missing, let's find a well. There's gems here. How many gems do we have? 45 and a gem mine. I don't think we need to get these gems or these gems. I think we can just continue on our way. But I do think if there's no magic well, then I think we ought to go home, actually. I think we ought to spend a little bit of time here in Snowstorm, recoup all of our spell points, and then we will set off to our next adventure here on the Western Front, going back to Iceflow. In fact, it's day 7. Let's just get one more whole week's worth of creatures, including 6 more Titans, 8 more Archmagi, 10 more rocks, 32 more halflings, and we are out of gold. I'm so tempted I'm so tempted. What need do I have for crystal? Come now. What need do I have for crystal? Yeah. 1,600 gold. And we're going to use that to purchase the last of the halflings. Oops. And then these steel golems. So actually, this gold mine actually could have been kind of important. Ultimately, I think we're going to be fine. It's a few titans versus my 12. We're going to take this town with no problems, and we will continue on from there. Let's just fight these zombies on our way by. No problems. We'll come back later, and then let's pick this up now. The people of this town apparently don't like you very much. It seems they have allied with Iciria, so you'll have to convert them to your cause the hard way. Understandable. 31 halflings, that is exactly 1 resurrect true. I think that we are not going to lose any halflings this fight. So we're going to wait on any spells for now. Let's kill 1 to 2 titans. Oh yeah. I think that 20 Archmagi are going to do more damage than 2 titans, don't you think? Maybe? That's a little bit tough, actually. I don't actually know. 7 to 9 damage. You see, this is an exact example of if I took the time to calculate this out. Basically, it's 3 Magi will do the damage of 1 base level Titan if he's only doing 20 damage. And I think that the Archmagi actually are going to do more damage. So, let's kill them now. We'll eat that lightning bolt. 25 damage. Yeah, I think that the Archmagi would have done more damage to me. Let's eliminate the halflings. We'll take the damage from the rocks. There's 45 of the halflings. Soon to be truly resurrected. And in fact, should I do it now? I think I should. Because the titans are going to get to go very soon. We will move the halflings out of the way. Kill most of the rocks here. And yeah, from here on out, I don't think we're going to have any problems whatsoever. 1 to 2. We kill 2. All right, let's see. Here, and oh, we should be able to kill 19, don't you think? I think so. Close. But that's it. Okay, so we take all that experience, no losses, and then we roll into this town now. Dimension Door, we do not use Dimension Door. This is excellent, though. Mass Haste. Set Water Guardian, could be good on some other maps. Cold Ring. Nice that we have multiple spells that will do AoE damage. We do have the Slow. And Armageddon, We might get very cheeky with it and get a whole stack of Titans and then just Armageddon the enemy because their Phoenixes are not immune to that. It would be interesting if all the troops were dead here except for the Battle Dwarves who resisted the spell. And that's possible. That could happen. We don't have much gold, so we must get some more gold. But don't worry, we have plenty of things to do over here. And that includes getting the ultimate artifact. I will sacrifice the 1 rock. Probably will lose some other troops here if I am not careful. So, oh, never mind. No problems there. +1 spell power. We'll take the gems. A short rainstorm brings forth a rainbow, and you can see the end of it. Riding quickly, you seize the pot of gold you find there. The leprechaun who owns it is unable to stop you from taking it. The leprechaun who owns it, unable to stop you from taking it, offers an endless pouch of gems for the return of his gold. You accept. +1 gems. No problems there. One interesting thing, maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not, but I appreciate the people. There was a comment on the unit tier ranking video, and the individual mentioned that English is their, well, probably not just their second language, probably their third or fourth. I find people in Europe and overseas to be very good with multiple languages. It's just generally expected, and you run across that a lot more than we do in the United States. Being bilingual in the United States is not uncommon, but also not expected. But this individual mentioned that they sometimes struggle to understand English speakers at times. To the north, elves are operating a gold mine. The mine can certainly be useful. Gem mine? It was a gem mine, not a gold mine. And I appreciated very, very much that they said that they don't have so much of a problem understanding what I say. And I sincerely appreciate that very, very much. You see a silver axe embedded deeply in the ground. After several unsuccessful attempts by your army to remove the axe, you tightly grip the handle of the axe and effortlessly pull it free. That's +2 to our attack skill. And part of the thing that I kind of chalk up to that's terrible, by the way. That's bad. We lost a lot of Titans there. I chalk that up to where I'm from in the United States. I don't have a particularly strong accent. My region has a fairly neutral way of speaking. And so I hope that actually helps folks who maybe English is something that they're trying to learn. It would tickle me to no end if people said, yeah, I learned English by listening to FixFox. And then unfortunately you would pick up all my weird, odd sayings, because I do have a few sayings that even people in the United States would go, what did he just say? And that's okay. After surveying the situation, you conclude that this way is blocked by impassable woods. You wonder how you can get to the ice castle. Liar. It is not blocked. Yeah, this is a lot of unicorns. With the true Resurrect, we're not going to have any problems again. And yet. This is going to be fun to say to ourselves, we must use some spells to make this happen. I'm just going to... How am I going to do this? I'll use 2 blinds, and then I'll just focus on these unicorns. I'll hope that the Titans get the most attention. It looks like they might. And when I attack with these rocks, we're going to attack in this kind of direction. Oh, let's not even lose any rocks if we can help it. And then from here, I think I can just put the steel golems here so that the Titans will take more of the attention up there. Let's kill 23. Let's kill a couple here. Titans are not going to be bothered by these unicorns whatsoever. And then this fight is very, very much a win. Okay. So no spell points really necessary, except for that blind was just a little bit helpful. I am very intrigued by these stone liths. We're going to take a step in. And we do end up over here. There are more stone liths, and then there are sprites. Well, I think that we must defeat them. For fun, if for nothing else. This is a lot of sprites. What are the sprites doing here? What are you doing? I could mass haste. It would give my other troops a chance to go before the sprites. I'm definitely going to end up using the Resurrect True, though. And I'll probably end up using the Resurrect True this fight, like this turn of combat, perhaps. We'll kill all the sprites here, pretty much. We'll kill maybe 200 sprites here with the Archmagi. How about I cast the Mass Haste? That'll make sure that all my troops go before their sprites do. That will mitigate damage, and then I might have to use less Resurrect Trues. How about that? Let's do that. Okay. That was 2,800 damage to the sprites. Wow, that's a lot. And then, with the good morale, should I kill one whole stack? I think I ought to, because there's no enemy retaliation. And so I'm not going to kill creatures just on the rebound, as it were. I might kill up to 500 of these sprites. Let's do our best. One rock goes down. And then I'm going to try and kill one whole stack here. I do. Terrific. Okay, so we've got one rock down and 60 halflings. Let's for sure assume that we're going to finish up this fight right now. Cast the correct Resurrect. We want Resurrect True, not just Resurrect. And then from here, the fight should be over. Worth noting, even though the Titans and the Archmagi have no melee penalty, I do reduce damage when I am attacking. Why is that? Because I do not get the opportunity to use my advanced archery. So sometimes you might forget about that and just say, oh, it's no problem, who cares? And I realized when I was looking at another playthrough, a previous playthrough of mine, I realized, oh, wait a second, I did not optimally do a fight because of that. I wonder what could these sprites be protecting? Nothing? Nothing? Oh my goodness. Hold up. Wait. Are you not supposed to be able to path through here? Are you supposed to... Wait a second, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I think that you're supposed to take this town, build a ship, land, go through the stone lifts. It's supposed to take you to here, and then you defeat the unicorns, and then you carry on your way. But I don't have to do that. Because the map is broken, and you're able to just simply walk through. This might be one of those times where... Yeah, this might be one of those times where the map is just a little bit broken because of what? I don't know, but I assume it has to do something with going from Heroes 2 Gold into FHeroes2. Maybe? Because there's no tactical advantage by getting a boat, going through here and going there. If this would allow you to then bypass the unicorn somehow, then okay, fine, sure, whatever. But I don't think that that's what that was. Very interesting. I don't know what to make of that. What I do know is that this Druid Queen is going down, and my reason being is because I assume that this individual has some artifacts, and I want all of them. You see the Druid Queen in front of the gateway, leading the remnants of the Ice Druids. She screams, "Foolish wizard, you will have to get past me to reach our mistress." I don't think I would actually have to. In fact, I'm going to wait right here, and I'll just see if you'll make the first move. You do not. That tells me everything I need to know. Yeah. Okay, this is the challenge, though. The enemy has surrendered. I want their artifacts. Let's see if we can do this. How do we do this? We have Resurrect True, so we don't need to worry too much about losing troops. It said that we lost 3 Titans. Maybe we'll take a nasty lightning bolt or something. I think that we are probably going to cast Fire Blast. Fire Blast. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to cast Fire Blast, get rid of 3 of these stacks, and then pour on damage onto these greater druids. I'm going to take a lot of damage here. That's just fine. There's 2 Titans. I think rocks will attack this stack of druids here. And then let's try and get down the battlefield. We're going to see what the damage is here. Oh no. We're going to kill 14 to 42. Actually, no, this is good. This is good because my halflings are going now, which means that their greater druids must go first before my titans do next turn. So I'm going to get to unload all this damage onto these enemies, and they're not going to run when they still have 90 greater druids, don't you think? And so I will lose the rocks, I will lose 5 Archmagi, I will wait until the very end, but I will probably Resurrect True some Titans. I can do double damage, I can get good luck, and I can still not kill them. Now I have to Resurrect True, but it's fine because I'm for sure going to do enough damage. I didn't want to do double damage and then accidentally kill the whole stack and not have Resurrected. And then I must kill these greater druids before this fight is over. And I was able to skillfully make sure that the enemy did not surrender. And it cost me rocks, it cost me titans, or rocks and Archmagi. It still cost me less than titans, and that's even better than it otherwise would have been. So, artifacts. Endless Bag of Gold, Spell Scroll, and so it was only 2. This gives you Cold Ray, which is great, and Thematic, because of the Ice Druid Priestess, and we'll still have 1 more slot for an artifact, and that slot must be the ultimate artifact. Whew! We almost messed up. We almost were going to be unable to get the ultimate artifact. Thankfully, it's not going to be a problem. There it is. X marks the spot. Let's go pick up some final troops, and then we will head back over. This will be the last time that we pick up any troops, and then we're going to finish this fight off. Even though the enemy has a tremendous amount of troops, specifically a horde of phoenixes, that's a lot of phoenixes, I don't care. I'm better than you. I'm stronger, I'm faster, my might will crush you, even if your spells are going to make things interesting. And so we'll do this, and this, and this, and hope that overconfidence is not our folly. And this. Okay. Heading back. And what was it again? It was 12 defense is going to be the Cloak of Protection, I believe. So I'm very happy for what's coming our way. We do have all of our spell points, so no problems there. Let's just purchase everybody. Whoa, we're not able to purchase everybody. What am I doing? There we are. So we are short halflings. Oh, we will trade for the gold necessary to get everybody. And I sure hope that I don't accidentally bring these halflings along just for them to be fodder for the enemy to shoot down. I hope. I'd feel very, very bad if that was the case, if I said, come on a grand adventure with me, and then they just ended up dying. It looks like I'm going to have to wait one more turn to get to where I need to go. It's this little cross section here. Oh, I could have walked through the fort, and I didn't. That was my mistake. That cost us one whole additional turn. But after spending many hours digging here, you have uncovered the ultimate Cloak of Protection. That is plus 12 to our defense. And then it's going to be a final showdown on day 1 here with our enemy. You approach the ice castle. Iciria, the Ice Queen, spots you and screams with rage. You dare approach, murderer? Very well then, come and I will have revenge at last for Mandalus, my husband. Gosh, how many relatives could your former master have, you think? That's hilarious. That is, yeah, that's understandable. Understandable. Have a nice day. So, it's going to be month 3, week 3, day 1, and with 22 Titans, knowing that I have all this additional defense and attack skill, this is not going to be much of a fight. The enemy has surrendered. We're going to, again, try and make sure that they do not run. It looks like they're going to have at least 54 Phoenixes. Let's dive right in. So, one thing to note is our morale and our luck versus theirs. Let's see quite exactly what we have. The Blessed goes down on the Phoenixes. They get the first shot. Even Blessed. Even Blessed. The Phoenixes kill 1 Titan, and I kill 11 on the retaliation. That doesn't feel too good for them. Blood morale, great luck. 12, 25. 5, 7, blood morale, Irish luck. So they do have better luck than I do. But... oh boy. I'm looking at this, and if I cast the Mass Haste, their greater druids are still going to get to go before my rocks. That doesn't feel too good. So I don't think that the haste is going to be ideal. I could always cast Berserker. That will absolutely mitigate the damage from these greater druids. And then that will give my Archmagi at least a chance to mitigate some of the damage from the Grand Elves. What else could I do? You know what I could do? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to anti-magic the Titans, and I'm going to add insult to injury. This is not a nice thing that I'm about to do. Please don't judge me harshly. I hope that history will still look kindly upon me, although, if not, I understand. Good luck is always appreciated. Berserker on my Archmagi. Well, I know how I can make sure my Archmagi don't hurt myself. I'm just going to Armageddon them. Yeah, that'll work. And you know what? We're going to do it again next turn. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. But hey, we've all got to find a fun way to really cap this off. And actually, this might be the best thing strategically for me, in the sense that maybe the enemy will not run. It's possible anyway. It's possible. Let's kill the 3 Phoenixes here. And maybe 13? Oh, only 9 to 11 of the unicorns. I like that the enemy said, well, if you're going to do a stupid spell like that, I might as well. These greater druids are going to go down. These grand elves are going to go down. I don't know if the Battle Dwarves took damage last time. If you're on YouTube right now, feel free to rewind and watch that video again. That'd be interesting to know if the Battle Dwarves resisted the Armageddon or not, but we're going to do it again. Oh yeah, we're going to do it again. They did not mitigate the damage this time now, and we're going to kill all 50 dwarves, and even though it costs me all of my other troops, we are going to make sure that this sorceress does not run. For the first time in this Wizard's Land playthrough, the big bad evil guy is not going to get to run. First it was... oh, I forget the first... it was Mandalus. First it was Mandalus, and then it was his brother, whoever that person's name was, and now Iciria. She's the first person I'm actually going to take alive. Everybody else just runs, and that's that. So we've received all this experience, and we have taken the ultimate book of knowledge. It mysteriously disappears, so that's why she had so much knowledge there. Okay, green player has been vanquished. So folks, that is a fitting end. That is a happy end to Wizard's Land 1, 2, and 3. I am going to get this, these videos are going to come out in fairly quick succession, but I wanted to make sure I got the whole trilogy out for you just in case you were very interested. And then very, very quickly, we will pick right back up with the rest of the Wizard's Isle campaign and the Price of Loyalty. That should be happening very, very shortly. Until then, we've captured the enemy hero. Our quest is complete. Thank you very, very much for spending the time with me. My name is FixFox. Look towards your family, your friends. Take good care of you and those people that matter most to you. And of course, take good care of yourself. If you don't take good care of yourself, who will? Again, my name is FixFox, and I will catch you in the next one. Until that time, take it easy. FixFox out.